welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit difficult because we are going to be talking about money, and specifically my money. So I really want to do this video for those of you who are out there who find it very hard to pay off debt, or for those of you who are currently trying to pay off debt and are struggling very hard, or for those of you who are paying off debt and are just wanting some support. And hopefully by posting this video I can reach out to maybe a small community of those of us who are trying to pay off debt, who can lean on each other and support one another and that type of thing. That's the purpose for this video. But I realize that what comes with it is going to be negativity and those types of things coming from people who just don't understand it. So what I'm going to talk about today is very money related. I'm specifically going to be talking about debt and not really the steps, but my journey for paying off debt. And my journey has been it's been going on for quite a while now, but my husband and I have actually just tried to buckle down once more, so therefore it is pretty much starting all over. So I wanted to talk about that today. Okay, so I'm going to be beginning a new series here on my channel. This is going to be called My Debt Diary, and this is going to be a series full of sporadic video uploads. I can't promise you that I'm going to do a very good job paying anything off on a regular basis, but I will try to promise you that at some point throughout each month or each, so many months, I will try to pay something. And when that happens, I would like to document what we pay and that type of thing. I'd also like to document our struggles and our victories and that kind of thing. And hopefully that will encourage some of you out there, and hopefully you guys can encourage me. Let me give you a little bit of a background on my journey. My husband and I got married 5 years ago this August, and when we got married I already had debt, not him. No, he did. When we got married we already had debt. He had a credit card and I had 3 or 4. They were smaller balances, but altogether it was probably about $1,200, and I think he had about $1,200 when we first got married. So it wasn't a big deal to us right then. We were just paying our minimum payments and we were getting along just fine. We never really thought anything of it. We were going to get the cards paid off when we finished paying our minimum payment and the balance was gone. But what happened? We got really interested in money all of a sudden. I think it started with being invited to I don't even know what it would be called, kind of like one of those pyramid jobs or whatever they're called, where how does it work? It was a company that sold insurance, and when you got on board, you were to train and go out and recruit more agents. And the more you recruited and the more you got underneath your belt, the more money you could make off of all of the people underneath you who were also making a commission. So it was a slow startup, to me it seemed like, but apparently it paid well. But whatever. My husband and I were immediately not interested in that, but it did get us on like an exciting journey of getting ready to pay off debt. So at that point we had learned about Dave Ramsey, and we discovered a book called The Total Money Makeover. And I think that's in my bookshelf right here, and I'm going to pull that down and show it to you. But my husband and I would go into the bookstore, and he would always look at the business section and the money section, all that stuff. And I happened to come across a book called The Money Answer Book, and that was by Dave Ramsey. And I just happened to be flipping through it while he was looking at books and bored me to death, and I got really interested in it. And the way that it answered the questions was very simply and easy to understand, and I wanted the book right away, but I didn't get it. So we went back to looking at books. Another day I found a book by the same author called Total Money Makeover, and the author was Dave Ramsey. We both read the book. We both loved what it had to say. We loved the things that it taught you about money, and we wanted to get started on that right away. Okay, this here is that book. For those of you who have not read it or have not heard of it, I highly recommend it. It's very good, very motivational. He speaks very well, very clear. You'll know exactly what he's talking about. You don't have to be a big math person to understand what he's trying to teach you. It's pretty easy to catch the first time around. There are some more complicated sections that talk about interest and that type of thing, but I don't recall having to go back and read a sentence more than twice. I'm going to keep holding this up for another minute so that you can get it glued into your head. I am going to link write the name of it in the description box below, of course, and maybe link it too. So in this book, it gives you, I think it's 7 baby steps. It might be 6, I don't remember. But those 7 baby steps are save up $1,000 fast. That is for your emergency fund. And then you're going to do the debt snowball, which is where you pay off one small loan and you take that minimum payment and you put it towards the next biggest loan. And then when you pay that off, you take that payment and put it towards the next biggest loan, and sort of creates a snowball. And because like when you have a snowball and you roll it downhill, it collects more and more snow. So that's what your money's going to do. It's going to collect more and more money off of each minimum payment that is freed up and put towards your larger payments and pay those off. And then you're going to finish up your emergency fund and get a good full 3 to 6 months worth of income in there. Then the 4th step is to maximize retirement investing. So you're going to begin investing in retirement. The next step is college funding. That is for your children. And the next step after that is pay off your mortgage. And then I think the final step is to build wealth like crazy, which at that point you're taking all of your extra money, all of the money that you had on debt, on your mortgage, on everything, and piling it into that IRA savings fund for retirement. If all of that is done properly, probably starting at a young age and done diligently, you could retire on a lot of money. So my husband and I thought that sounded like a good idea. We don't want to trust the government to give us our Social Security. I'd rather just have my $2-3 million in the bank. So that is our ultimate goal, and that started about 5 years ago when we first got married. Since then, we have begun paying off our own debt, which was the $1,200 each when we first got married. Of course, that accumulated. We accumulated more since we've been married. And the longer we've been married, the more we've accumulated. So in the past, my husband and I have really begun paying off debt twice. Like very seriously paying off debt. We started it twice. We never finished it because we never got everything paid off. But the 2 times that we attacked it, we did get quite a bit of it paid off. I think we go in spells where we get really excited about paying off debt and we do a lot of it, and then we are tired of paying off debt and we want to start spending money again. And usually when we want to start spending money again, we pretty much catch back up to where we were to begin with when we started paying off debt. And that's exactly what we've done this time around. We've always accumulated a little bit more debt here and there along the way while paying off debt, but we've never accumulated this much while trying to pay off debt. For the last year or so, we haven't really put anything towards paying anything off. We've just kind of spent the money that we had or used a credit card to spend money that we have, that we don't have. And we have accumulated more debt, and I would say that we have more debt now than when we got married, but it feels like we have just as many minimum payments as we did when we first got married. And when we first got married, we had a lot of minimum payments, and they decreased over time because we were paying bills off. Now they have increased again, and I feel like we're right back to where we started. So last night, I think it was last night or the night before, we decided to get serious one more time. We always say we're going to get serious, but this time, you know when you're trying to be serious. So this time we really meant it, and we're going to try it. We're going to try it one more time. I was listening to the Dave Ramsey show the other day on the way home from work. I don't often listen to the Dave Ramsey show. I catch it on the radio every now and then, and I'll stop and listen to it. I stopped and listened to it the other day, and someone was doing their debt-free scream, I think is what it's called. So when they pay everything off and they become debt-free, they can be invited to the radio show and do like one big loud, "We're debt-free" scream. I think that's how it goes. And because they paid off all their debt. So I was listening to their story, and they, what is my point? I was listening to their story, and they mentioned a thermometer as a guide to sort of go by to show them how much they were paying off. So I decided that would be a great visual idea, and I got online and looked up thermometers and found one I liked, printed them up, wrote the numbers on them, and now I'm ready for when we get started paying some debt off. Don't look at the numbers because I'm going to show you those in a minute, but if you can see the thermometer, it's already red at the bottom, and as we pay and go up, I'm going to color it in as we go up. Obviously, you know how a thermometer works. Now that I have told you a little bit of the background story, I'm ready to share with you our big number of all of the money that we owe. And the reason, I wouldn't even have to share this number, the reason I'm sharing it is so that I can share with you along the way amounts that we have paid off, and I can actually give you numbers and it will seem more real to you. So the number that we owe, what is under, okay. So the number that we owe is $40,105.90. That is all of our car payments and of course a few credit cards included. That does not include my student loans and our 2 mortgages. We share 2 mortgages together. It only excludes those 3 things. But if I continue to do this video series, I will continue and document paying off those as well. The student loans is a little bit less than what we owe already on credit cards and cars. And of course the mortgages, you can only imagine. Anyway, so now I want to talk to you a little bit more about what I've made here. This is just the same page over and over again. Right here at the bottom, right here at the bottom, it starts at 40,000, and each mark decreases by $100 on the first 3 pages. The next 2 pages decrease every $200. The next page decreases every $300. And the last 2 pages decrease every $500, all the way down to 0. Now the reason behind that is so that I can see our thermometer rise as fast as possible. Because if we don't have that small victory, we're not going to feel like we're doing anything at all. I'm not going to feel like we're doing anything at all. So it is easy enough for us to pay $100 a month. Hopefully a lot more than that. We've been able to pay as much as $500 and $800 a month when we were doing really well. So I'm hoping we can work our way up to that. But our income is really limited right now because we have maxed it out due to all of our credit cards and stuff that we have minimum payments on. Now. So I'm not sure exactly how much leftover income we'll have each month. But I do know that we can at least afford $100 a month if we just make ourselves, we can find $100 a month. So that's why I chose to do 100, because at least once a month it's going to move an entire increment. And then as our debt gets smaller, it'll be easier to pay larger amounts. That's why I decreased the numbers by 2 and 3 and 500. So that's what I wanted to talk about, was the debt thermometer. And each month, or each whenever we pay something off, I will keep you updated on that. I will let you know the amount that we pay, and maybe I'll even color it in here on video for you. I don't know, maybe. I should probably mention that we have not paid anything off yet. It is the very beginning of May, so I will hopefully check back in with you at the end of this month and let you know what we have done. It's too early to tell right now. I probably should have mentioned that since this is a debt payoff video, but we haven't paid anything yet. This is all very fresh. I actually have another one that I'm working on that is a small health department bill in combination with an air conditioning unit that we paid for, and that's about $500. We're gonna get started paying on that first, and then jump on to this $40,000. I hope to see you guys back at the end of the month for an amount of how much we've paid off, and hopefully it's more than $100. And maybe also I will be able to sit down with you guys and do a little bit more in-depth financial like planning each month, like budgeting and stuff, since that would sort of tie into this topic as well. I have one video up that's just general budgeting, and I'll link that below for you if you're interested. There was a couple other things. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention really, and that is and I want you guys to comment as well, for those of you who are watching this who struggle with the same thing or who are interested in doing the same thing. I wanted us to start a conversation about some of the challenges that we face in paying off debt, or some of the victories that we have while paying off debt. One of our biggest struggles, mine and my husband's, is stopping eating out. And I feel like nobody talks about this. Eating out is something that we enjoy doing together to spend time. It's something that we enjoy doing when we don't want to cook. It's something that we enjoy doing when we're in a rush. And it's pretty much something we enjoy doing for very many reasons. So that is something that we're trying to eliminate. Not completely. This month we need to eliminate it completely, because we might get a little bit behind if we don't. But we have decided that we will only go out once every weekend for this month, which I think there's 3 weekends left. Okay, so that's what we've committed to this month, is only eating out once every weekend. No matter what weekend day it is, it has to be on the weekend. Next month we will probably create a small budget for eating out and so forth for the following months, but it'll be something that's going to be hard for us to let go of. And if we want to pay off even more, we would need to let go of it completely, but I don't see that happening. I think I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on this topic, but my battery's dying and I don't know how much time I have left. So if you would just comment below any challenges that you find within paying off your debt, or just within paying your bills if you don't have any debt, and we can talk about that, because I feel like that's something that people don't really talk about. If you have any triumphs as of lately, mention those below as well, so that we can all talk about it, or congratulate each other. And I think that's going to be all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one in this series, and maybe we'll discuss another topic, another challenge or something like that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!